5%, may mga kumpanya, kahit property pa yan, kahit na interest rate sensitive pa yan, kung yung income niya recurring, hindi yan bababa. Hindi naman siya umaasa na residential sales. But there was a transformation. The fact is, bakit may Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, at kung sino-sinong offices na naglagay sa Fort Bonifacio? Paano nangyari yon? At first, there was demand first for BPOs. Parang cotton. Bakit umakit yung cotton? Kailangan invent mo muna yung sewing machine. Diba? Kasi kung walang machine, bakit naman tataas demand for cotton? Kung walang Starbucks, tataas ba demand ng kape? Tataas ba yung demand ng semiconductor chips kung walang computer? Tataas ba PSPC kung walang Samsung phone? Parang ganun lang. Mag-iisip din tayo minsan, hindi naman stock price aakyat lang ba? Dahil, kasi binili ni BDO, kaya aakyat na yan. That's not true. Bakit niya binibili? We have to think of those things. Although, I do believe na kapag nagpo-front run ka ng mga funds, when you buy ahead of them, pag napapansin mo sa ticker tape, or you sell ahead of them, pag nagsisell sila, you can make money. That's called stupid trading style. That's true. You can make money, 30% a year. Aso, mahirap yung buhay mo. Titingin ka talaga. And some people make a living kasi for them, hindi naman mahirap eh. Sabi mo lang mahirap eh, kitang-kita ko naman eh, hindi okay lang. So, what I'm saying is, find your style pa rin. But this is really an investing style. The thought process is what I'm telling you guys. Na kahit na hindi mo alam kung sino buyer-seller ng DNL, you could have made money. Kahit di mo alam kung sino ba pumipili na itong mga URC na to, or kung ano-anong Apple na yan, kung sino man sila, Goldman Sachs pa yan, or kung sino man yan, kung aakyat, aakyat. Kahit sino pa yan. Kahit sino bumili. So, if you want a bagger, the fundamentals of the cycle should scale. And it should double or grow exponentially every year. Monster markets. The management has to keep improving. There should be a strong edge. I'm not gonna highlight a certain stock here. It's not my purpose. But if you realize the thought process in my mind, why I said na I'm gonna buy this company because it's gonna go to Vietnam, Bangladesh, wherever, and sell the same games to them. And if it gets hit, you can make a lot of money for little failure cost. That's the reason why it's a buy. But after a 300% move, is it still a buy? I do not know. I do not know. You guys know about it, no? I'm talking about Surpass. Okay. Surpass, when they made an IPO, they said na, I'm gonna expand Philippines, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Vietnam. You want to be like a URC technology-wise for the games. And the thing is, execution is hard. You can tell me today na you want to be this and that, but you have to print in the headlines that you actually made money when you open your whatever gaming shop, your gaming services to Vietnam. Oishi entered China, they made money. Gong Wei went into China and lost money. He wasn't selling well in China. He was selling well in Indonesia, Vietnam. The Chinese factories he had, pinapadala niya rin pabalik sa Pilipinas. Kasi Pilipino gusto kumain ng Jack and Jill. China, hindi. Ayaw kainan yung mga produkto niya. And for URC, kung undercapitalized yun, isang Lehman Brothers event lang, tumba ka na. 5 billion pesos, papatalunin mo 6 billion pesos in a year. For an ordinary investor, for an ordinary entrepreneur, lugi na siya. If you tell me na yung URC naging 4.5 dahil sa financial crisis, hindi po. Bumaba yan sa 4.5 dahil oo, may financial crisis, pero oo, natalo rin siya sa Lehman Brothers bonds. ng sandamakmak na hindi ganun kadali i-predict kung kaya pa ba niya sumurvive. Kaya pa ba nito? Pero syempre, lahat ng Pilipino, alam nila kaya. Hello? 6 billion pesos? Robinsons Mall, magkano kinikita? Robinsons Bank, we're talking about John Doe Kung Wei. We're not talking about some John Doe. Management does play a role if you are talking about baggers. Running money versus running a company. Running companies is like driving a tank down the street. Except that the tank has no windshield, it's just a rear view mirror. There are 5 or 6 managers pushing the pedals and pulling levers and turning the dials, adjusting settings almost by trial and error, trying to drive as fast as they can and keep the tank going straight. And all of a sudden, a giant tree drops into the middle of the street and the team has to somehow steer around it without spilling their coffee. And I guess you have to make sure that the managers are up to that task. There was this port congestion thing. Any other normal person would have lost money. Kung si Procter & Gamble at si Unilever natalo dyan, paano pa yung iba? So, normal lang matalo. But you have to understand if the losses of a company comes from an extraneous event. When it comes from an external event, that's usually money. Make money from it. You have to rely on management because when you own 1 million shares of a company and you're stuck with it, you cannot get out overnight. You have to trust management to run a smooth ship. No surprises. This is easier said than done. We are not the type of fund that lived and died by quarterly profit announcements by companies. We were never buying a stock because we thought they would beat estimates by a penny. Although, that's what most fund managers do. Earnings were signposts along the way. Bakit kailangan ganito kayo mag-isip? Like a fund manager. Like someone owning millions of shares. Well, because if you want that stock to be bought up